Beautiful start to the day here in Gulf Shores, Alabama, as we're about to begin our quarterfinal coverage of the NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship. LMU and USC are about to square off in this best-of-5 duel. LMU has never beaten USC, but this is a very talented LMU team that has the pieces they feel like can upset the Trojans. They're on a 6-duel win streak. And a couple of Pepperdine alums, Dane Blanton and John Mayer, the head coaches of these teams. Dane Blanton, the National Coach of the Year, just awarded this week. Also joining Madison Fitzpatrick, the third member of our team. Maddie?
All right, Coach, short and sweet to start out the day. What'd you like from your team in the first round that you want them to take into the quarterfinals?
Well, you know, consistency. You always want to play consistent. You want to play with heart, and you want to play with effort and leave it on the court. But they're ready to go and fired up. This is what you work for your entire life as a volleyball player. And for some of these student athletes, this is going to be the pinnacle, and it's awesome.
Absolutely. Coach Mayer, a chance to take down #1. What's the message? What's the mindset in the locker room or the tent coming into today's match?
I didn't even know who we were playing. Are we playing SC? Is that right? No. Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity. We're excited to be here. We're focused on us. We want to hunt. We want to play our best. And, yeah, we're excited to be a part of this tournament, this match.
Good luck, you guys. Thank you.
Two guys very good friends off the court, and today they will be competing for the right to move on to the semifinals. We have 5 courts going on at the same time. Every court has a match on it, 2 out of 3 sets. The first 2 sets are to 21 win by 2. The third set would be to 15 win by 2 if they split those first 2 sets. The first team to win 3 of the courts, 3 of those individual matches, wins the duel. That is what this overall competition is called in beach volleyball. It is Loyola Marymount playing USC in a beach volleyball duel. And here are the 5 pairs that will be out across the court. I mentioned Dane Blanton as the National Coach of the Year, where Megan Kraft at the ones for USC is the National Player of the Year.
Well, they're a very talented team, athletic, dynamic. They run quick tempo sets, which that means lower sets and a fast offense. LMU, they bring the heat from the service line. That has been their signature for years. How will USC handle that tough serving today?
So much star power on the sand today between these two teams. Certainly no strangers to each other, but look at that stat. 30-0 USC against LMU. Will we be saying no one beats LMU 31 times in a row?
We will see. That's an impressive stat, but the last time they met, these are a little bit different pairing matchups. So I'm curious to see, with these adjustments, how they're going to face off today.
So we will start at the ones. It is Megan Kraft, number 22, Delaney Maple, number 23 for the Trojans, who are in those USC uniforms against Loyola Marymount's V. Pretty Villamina is her actual formal name, but she goes by V. She's number 8. Michelle Schaffer will be number 9 for Loyola Marymount. Again, we play this first set to 21 win by 2. Both of these teams receive the AVCA Top Flight Award, which means they are among the best #1 pairs in the nation. And we are underway in our quarterfinals. Schaffer, who delivered the first serve.
Well, that's a great way to start off. And like I said, their serving has been a major part of their program.
She is extremely analytical in the way she approaches the game. Also outstanding in the classroom and in the weight room, as overcoming a torn Achilles. You never see any sign of that. Schaffer attacking just long on that swing. And USC sides out and will have the serve for the first time. Number 23 there on the left, that is Delaney Maple, senior from San Diego. This team, by the way, Nicole, they've been playing together since high school.
They did. They won an indoor championship at Torrey Pines High. They've got a long history together, know each other well, and that is such an important piece of beach volleyball, is that chemistry with your partner and your communication.
Good dig by Maple. Now Maple will attack. That's one of the things I love about beach volleyball, and I hope you can appreciate if you're watching for the first time. Sometimes you're literally down in the sand digging a ball, and then you have to jump right back up and attack.
Yes, you do, and you really hope your partner notices that you're down in the sand so they can lift that setup and give you a little extra time to get up and crank it.
Good serving run here by Maple. Pretty. Got the line.
Love that. Tagging the lines in the perimeter. LMU and USC, you'll notice when they hit the ball, they are trying to go for that blue line around the court, which will then spread the defense.
Preeti back to serve now. She is from Helsinki, Finland. Was here at the ones last year with Melanie Paul. Kraft dug up by Schaffer, and Kraft, who many believe will be an Olympian in 2028. She is, again, the National Player of the Year, and we've adopted an Olympic theme this year because of the Paris Games. They have produced Olympians from this program, unlike any other program, and
Absolutely.
she could be the next.
That is her dream, and she definitely has the talent that she desires.
Julia Scholes, another former player that recently played at USC, is in that mix for 28 as well. And Tina Gradina, who we saw here in the early years of our coverage, an Olympian for Latvia.
Sarah Hughes, Kelly Clays, now Kelly Chang. They're the #2 seed right now in the Olympic rankings for USA, both USC Trojans.
Oh, nice short serve set up that point for USC, and the Trojans are off to a good start, Nicole. They win the first 7 points 5-2.
I love this serve, and when you say go for it on your serve, that doesn't mean you're going back and ripping it as hard as you can. This, for me, too, is going for it. Going for that short serve and disrupting the side-out game for LMU.
So in beach volleyball, they change sides every 7 points. Then after the score totals 21 points, they have a timeout. This is Kraft serving. Served it right at Preeti. Preeti's trying to go down the middle and couldn't clear the net.
You know, yesterday we didn't see that from Preeti. She was getting it over, a nice hand on the ball. Right now, playing the #1 team in the country, perhaps a few little nerves. Got to shake those out these first few points and get things going right.
Kraft serving again. She's had a nice day serving so far. Oh, smart shot by Schaffer.
Well, she is an incredible player. I just had my eye on her yesterday thinking she is really doing it all. She is going on two, helping her partner out like she does right here, going with the momentum. That ball is flying close to the tape. Good idea to get rid of it.
Schaffer already with a degree in accounting and is now working on a master's. And you really see that analytical side of her in her beach volleyball, the way she does film studies.
Well, and USC right here is really setting the tone with their aggressive style of play. Coming out swinging, and that's going to set up shots for them later as we go on in this match.
Maple serving, another good serve. Bottom dropped out of it. And that little mishit goes out of bounds, and USC has led from the very beginning so far here in this first set.
And the last time these two met up on April 18th, same matchup here. The Trojans came out on top, 21-12, 21-19.
In fact, Kraft and Maple 3-0 against this team of Preeti and Schaffer.
You know, Sam, for me, time to call a timeout. Things are getting off the rails here for LMU. The unforced errors, we didn't see that yesterday, so coming in today, again, like I said, new opponent, new day. Call that timeout, steady it out.
So again, 5 matches are going on all at once. When a team wins 3 of the 5 matches, the duel is over. We go to the twos now. LMU on the left side of your screen, USC on the right. Madison White and Maddie Kriz for USC. White is number 10. Kriz is number 11, taking on Isabella Reffel and Alicia Stevens of Loyola. Reffel number 2, Stevens number 3. This is an international pair for LMU. Number 2 there on the left, Reffel. She's from Sweden, and her partner Stevens on the right is from Australia. Oh, big swing by Reffel.
Well, that was a beautiful angle, coming in strong, thumb down shot. That's not easy to do. She was a little bit flat to the net, but what range.
White and Kriz, though, up 9-5 there. Here it is again.
Take a look, coming in a little flat to the net, then opens up that thumb going down, and just too much to handle for USC.
And number 2 for Loyola Marymount is going back to serve now. Reffel, she dates one of the best beach volleyball men in the world. That is Jonathan Helvig, who will be a big factor at the Olympics.
And they're the #1 seed right now for Sweden going into the Olympic rankings, and they have a style of play that has really changed the game. Very quick tempo sets, jump setting. You don't see that a lot. People leaving the sand and jump setting the ball to their partner. So it's been really fun to watch. And she will also go to Paris and support him, and that'll be a awesome experience, I'm sure.
White serving for USC. Trojans have doubled up the score here in the opening set at the 2s. And they continue to build that lead. What a block by Madison White.
That was a sweet block. And again, USC on this court going for the short serve as well. And that cuts the approach down for LMU coming in.
You know, speaking of the Olympics, Madison White fell in love with beach volleyball watching the Rio Olympics. That's when she really discovered the sport.
Well, I can't blame her. Brazil is beach volleyball mania there. It's unbelievable. I know a lot of people go there and train in the off season. There's just nothing like it. The coaching, the training, the beauty.
Right now, all 5 courts are in action. USC has the lead on 4 of the 5. They're tied at the 4s. These are 2 out of 3 set matches on the 5 courts. Whoever wins 3 of these matches first wins the duel and moves to the semifinals later today. USC had to win 3 matches or 3 duels to win the Pac-12 championship this year because they lost and had to come through the contenders bracket.
Well, and they started off against UCLA, and that match was 2 hours and 18 minutes, I think I remember. So that was down to the wire, and you don't play 3 duels in a day normally. So to be able to recover, rest, especially mentally, physically, is very impressive.
How about that reaction from Chris?
Hey, she's like, you know what? I got the dig no matter what. If I don't get set on the 3rd touch, that's okay. I'll put it away on 1. Nice reaction into the angle, little slide, and it pays off.
There's a transfer from Stanford. Stanford having its best season in beach volleyball. We'll see the Cardinal later today in the quarters as well. Stanford, the #3 seed in this championship. You know, the thing about USC, Nicole, is who they have as alternates would be starting anywhere else in the country and would probably be representing that school here at the championships.
They would.
Dane Blanton's team is just loaded.
Well, absolutely. They're so deep, and that's the thing. The practices are so high intense, competitive every single day, and that's tricky to balance as well because every single day doing that mentally can be exhausting. So he's talked about that, just finding that balance of that competitiveness at each and every practice. But he's got options, that's for sure, and figuring out these lineups throughout the season is something that I know the coaches put a lot of thought and time into, of figuring out which pairs are going to be best together, chemistry-wise, play-wise, and to make the strongest 5.
Things under control at the 2s. Let's go back to the 1s. That block goes out of bounds. Point USC. USC at the 1s. This has been very lopsided. Right now, as I look across all 5 courts, USC has the lead on every court in the first set in these 2 out of 3 set matches. USC, the 3-time defending champion, the only USC women's team in any sport to three-peat. And if they win 4 in a row, they would put themselves in a very elite company in the entirety of NCAA sports. Huge attack by Schaffer.
Well, and that's what she can do. Pretty lifts that set up nice. And that ball was either settable or going on 2. And I love that aggressive play that we saw yesterday. She's continuing that in to today.
Now, John Mayer, the coach for Loyola Marymount, he feels like the conditions here are more like what they practice on and play on at Loyola, maybe more so than any other team.
Yeah, they are able to get to the beach in Playa Vista there and can train. You've got the wind, the elements. It's a little bit shallower there than Manhattan and Hermosa. And so they've got some experience.
What would you say are the trademarks of the courts here in Gulf Shores?
I would love to play on these courts. They are beautiful, #1, but they're a little bit more shallow, so a quicker game. Higher vertical, quicker in the sand on defense back there. When the sand is deeper, it's a little bit slower.
So USC has doubled up the score at the 1s. They will take their 21-point timeout. Here's where we stand. The 3s have come back for LMU and have tied the score and now taken the lead at the 3s. So USC has the lead on 4 of the 5 courts in the opening set across the sands of Gulf Shores, Alabama. Spend a day at the beach with us. Quarterfinals and semifinals all day. Trying to win 4 in a row, it would mean the players that, like the Norse twins, would have won 4 NCAA championships for their career. That would be absolutely incredible.
That would be so impressive, and that's what we talked to head coach Dane Blanton about, is do you address it? And he said, well, it's kind of like the elephant in the room. Everyone knows it's there. We don't talk about it a lot, but just how to manage kind of those emotions and what goes into it. And, you know, that's the thing. You're focusing on 1 point at a time, 1 duel at a time to try to get to the top.
USC also has won the NCAA title in 2016 and 17. So Anna Collier was leading the program. She turned the reins over to Dane Blanton, and his teams have never failed to win the national championship. 17-8 here at the ones. I mentioned the Norse twins just a moment ago, and the USC does have a pair of twins that everyone that is familiar with this sport is familiar with. They play at the threes. We'll be seeing them in just a little bit as well. They're actually down 2 right now in the first set over at the threes. USC, though, is leading on every court except at the threes, and Kraft and Maple have been dominant here at the ones.
Absolutely. I mean, they have not looked back from the first point, starting it up. LMU did ace them on that first one, I feel like, and maybe that woke USC up like, oh no, this isn't going to go down like this today.
We bring in the 2s on the right side of the screen. So they're getting close to finishing the first set as well. Again, we're going to 21 win by 2 on both of these courts for the first set. 18-12 at the 2s on the right side of your screen, and the lead builds for USC on the left side of your screen at the ones, 19-8. LMU, another error at the 2s gives up USC the 19-12 lead. Boy, I tell you what, USC in these first sets, for the majority of them, is looking good to start this day.
They are, and as I said last year, take a look at those numbers there. Yeah, 20-8 on court number 1, and that's impressive. Pairs number 2, Maddie Kriz, as you mentioned, from Stanford, a top program now coming in, but she knows what it takes to win, and she's proven out there at pair number 2.
Back to the ones. So this is the court with the set point. Kraft and Maple on the left side of your screen of USC, against Schaefer and Preeti on the right side. And Preeti able to keep LMU in this set at least for another point.
Well, and here's the deal, Sam. 2019, it's a tough one to come back, especially against the #1 team in the country. But you've got to get some good plays and some momentum on your side as you go into set number 2, and just forget about this one and move forward and make those adjustments.
Error there by Kraft. I know, like, for example, in tennis, sometimes it's better to lose the first set bad than a really tight first set and have to come back in the second. How about in beach?
I think it depends on the person and how they kind of bounce back, and it's the mental game too. It's huge, as in tennis as well. But what are they going to do in set number 2? And as Coach John Mayer said at the top of the show, we have to worry about our side and handle the ball, and that's what LMU has not done this set. There are too many unforced errors, so they got to clean those up as they move forward.
So SC takes the opening set at the ones. We go to the 2s. White and Kriz on the left side of your screen, getting close to finishing this set as well. These are some pretty lopsided scores at the 1s and 2s. Set point USC. And again, you mentioned at the top how close LMU actually was to USC when they played this year. Well, the Trojans have not left anything to chance so far in these first sets.
And they remember that matchup, and so they're coming out knowing that LMU is capable of big things. So they come out from the first serve, setting the tone again with the aggressive play that Dane Blanton loves.
Two in the block are the Lions there. 20-13, still set point for USC. Good serve.
That was a nice serve by Reffel, and that's exactly what they need to kind of get them back into this. Bring that tough serving. Try to get them in trouble.
Set point for USC at the 5s as well. Gellner and Thomas against Fournette and Thorup. And again, these scores are surprising. USC's had its way for the most part in these first sets. But I am starting to see a little common theme that at least LMU's playing a little better in these final points. It just got out of hand early as the twos crossing sides. Set point on both courts for USC. Twos on the left side of your screen, 5s on the right side. USC won the opening set at the 1s a few moments ago. So they're a point away from, there's the set at the 5s. So USC wins the first set at the 5s. Still playing here at the 2s. Stevens and Reffel on a little bit of a run here. They're still facing 4-set points though.
They're going for it, and that's what you need to do, is get the ball over, tough serve, give yourself a chance in defense to get those digs.
And that's one thing John Mayer said he wants this pair to do, be more aggressive. When they are not aggressive, he said that's when they struggle.
That's right, be on the attack, don't be attacked.
And Reffel is aggressive there. They cut the deficit to 3.
And for USC right now, receiving serve, so that one touch, and stay aggressive for them as well. Don't let up and go to those shots, but do what's been working, and their aggressive play has been paying off so far this set.
Still set point USC. Kriz will put it up for White. Nice block. Into the open. White, and USC survives the LMU run deep in that set. And USC now has won the opening set at the 1s, 2s, and 5s. We go to the 4s now, where SC is up 19-15. Seitz and Pater. That's Grace Seitz about to serve for USC against Hooker and Chen. Hooker number 4, Chen number 1 for LMU. This is Chen attacking, and she puts it down 19-16.
Well, Cassie Chin, number 1, who just cranked that one. Coach John Mayer said she's the leader of this team and has the heart of a lion. She wasn't in the lineup the first 3 years, but her loyalty and hard work has paid off, and he just couldn't be more proud of her.
We bring the Norse twins onto the show for the first time today, and they are the only pair for USC that's in danger of losing the opening set at the moment, as it is set point for LMU, Ramirez and Paloya. The Norse twins have been a bankable point for USC. They're on a 7-match win streak. They've won 8 straight NCAA matches. But Ramirez and Paloya have now won the first set. So for the Norse twins to keep that win streak alive, they're going to have to win in 3. And that's the first set LMU has won so far today. Here's set point for USC at the 4s. Pater, the freshman from Bradenton, Florida, serving. The block is on, and USC claims another opening set. So the Trojans, the 3-time defending champions in this sport, have claimed the opening set on 4 of the 5 courts in these best-of-3 set matches. Whoever wins 3 of these courts first wins the duel and moves on to the NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship semifinals. We'll dive into second set coverage across all 5 courts when we return to Gulf Shores, Alabama. A couple of exciting, adrenaline-filled sports.
I don't think they'd like sand on the track, though, there.
No, I think you're right. Back to the 1s, where Kraft and Maple, one of the top teams in the history of USC, has been dominating this match, surprisingly, because Schaefer and Preeti again are among the premier 1s in the country. But Kraft and Maple have had their number so far. Maple, cross court.
Well, they certainly have, and there is a reason why. Maple is so good with her vision, listening to her partner. But Preeti yesterday was blocking off the court from what we saw in the matchup versus Hawaii. And right now they're taking her out of the game by setting well and tight, keeping her at the net, and just chipping around her block.
9-3, Kraft and Maple. And an ace. You know, it's interesting how Dane Blanton described his number ones for USC on the right side of your screen. He said, they do the dance.
Yeah.
They work so well together.
It's almost like they don't have to talk. They just know each other. They have a history together, and they move well. If you watch them on the court, it's a beautiful rhythm. Reading off the block, the D. It's fun to watch.
So they are sitting down at the moment. We go to the twos. White and Kriz for USC have just gone up 5-2, and they'll do the walk and talk. This is one of the unique things about beach volleyball. You see the coaches walking with the players. They do that every 7 points. What are some of the things coaches communicate to players on those walk and talks?
Well, they want to keep it short and sweet. You don't want to overload the players. They've already got a lot on their minds, but just little key reminders, or maybe an adjustment, like, hey, they're beating you to the sideline, take a step over there. Small little things in that time.
Wind has not become a factor yet. It typically picks up as we get later in the day, but there's such thing as the good side and the bad side. Good side would be when the wind is blowing in your face. Bad side would be when it's at your back.
I always tried to make it the good side and the better side.
Well, you're a glass half full person,
Hey,
Nicole.
you know?
That's why I like hanging out with you. But also the way this facility is set up, the ones, twos, and threes play closer to, I guess, the road or to the venue, whereas fours and fives are out on the ocean, so that changes things as well. Out on the Gulf, I should say. Along the shores of the Gulf of Mexico, you see them up at the top of your screen, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Final year of this event being here before it moves out to California for the next 2 years. It's been such a popular place with these teams and fans. On the line. Well, we've talked a lot about Dane Blanton being the National Coach of the Year, but before Dane took over the USC program, this program was created and really put on the map by Anna Collier, and the former Trojan head coach is with Madison Fitzpatrick now. Maddie?
Coach Anna Collier, from 2012 to 2019, you led the Trojans 3 national championships. You had 20 All-Americans go through your program. How does it feel to watch the game here at Gulf Shores, which is something that you helped start?
It's amazing. Like, the energy here is so incredible. Like, people are knowledgeable. They look at the teams. They know who they are. They're rooting. But for me personally, it almost feels like, you know, having a child. And all you want is that child to grow up and be happy and successful. And to me, NCAA beach volleyball is happy and successful. And it just makes me like glow. Even though it's hot out here, I'm glowing from the thrill of the growth and development of this program. It's amazing.
And speaking of the growth, you recruited this senior class for USC, Megan Kraft, Delaney Maple, the Norse twins. How have you seen them grow, and how proud are you of them for what they've done with the Trojan Empire?
Well, the Trojan Empire, I love that. I'm going to quote you on that. It is an empire. For me, I saw them young, and I saw their skill. So I'm proud of their skill development, but I'm seriously more proud of their leadership development. I knew as little girls they'd grow into these great leaders as women. And if you really watch, you can see the rest of the team does turn to them and does go, okay, and they're like, we're fine. We're good. We're getting a 4th national championship. It's okay. And that's what really makes me proud, is the growth of the women that they've become, and the leadership skills that I saw young are there. And I'm so proud and so happy. So I kind of become irrelevant after this year. It's like sad, but I you know what? It's a great thing.
You did your part for the sport of volleyball and USC. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Anna Collier is never going to be irrelevant in this sport.
No, she's not. And if anything, she always wants the best for her athletes. I trained with her when I was in a pro career, and she invited me to her swim class, Sam. She was teaching at Santa Monica Junior College, and I would go there to do cardio. And at the end of class, she's like, all right, class, you're not dismissed until Nicole can do a no-breather, which means 1 lap without taking a breath. But she knew I could do it. She pushes her athletes to be the best they can be on and off the court.
Well, even with current head coach Dane Blanton, Dane had a whole other life. He was doing really well in broadcasting and public speaking, and She was relentless in pursuing him to be her assistant, and he said, you just can't say no to Anna Collier.
No, you certainly can't, and she has built this program and also knew who to surround herself with to make it and keep it going.
So one of the trailblazers in this sport. Right now, she's got to be very happy with how the Trojans have come out here at the ones, as Kraft and Maple have been leading this match pretty much from start to finish, with the exception of the first point. Maple back to serve. Delaney Maple, senior from San Diego. She had the amazing moment of clinching the national championship in 2021 over Florida State.
Well, and Michelle Schaefer right now has no fear. She is going up and helping out her team right now, crushing those on twos, which is when your partner lifts you up on one and you put it away on that second contact.
So the ones still leading as they sit down for USC will go down to the fives now. And again, this court is just steps away from the Gulf of Mexico. It is a court that, along with the fours, is impacted by weather more than any other because of how close you are to the waters. Really nothing to block the wind. There's more shells out here. They've had to recondition this court.
Sifting shells the other day and getting them out because they were getting a few nicks on their feet. But this beach is so beautiful, the sand. And as you mentioned, they're right there on the edge of the water. So that wind is coming in and can really affect the ball's movement. And again, having that experience of playing in the wind is huge as all these teams come here. And some head to the beach before they come to Gulf Shores. And they want to get those windy days. So they head for the afternoon hours and try to make the best of it.
Mabin Thomas serving, a lefty. And this is a team for USC hasn't played a lot together this year, but they've been successful when they do, and they are leading this match against for Burnett and Thora. And we go back up to the twos, excuse me. White and Kriz still leading Stevens and Reffel. Right now we're in the second set across all 5 courts. Whoever wins 3 of the courts first wins the duel and moves on to the semifinals. USC, the 3-time defending national champions, against LMU, who comes out of the West Coast Conference. They've won that conference championship for 5 straight years. And LMU came into this duel on a 6-duel win streak. They have been playing their best of the season.
They have, and that's a great momentum coming into this championship. This particular team has been kind of up and down for them. They can beat anyone, and sometimes they can go out and lose to anyone. So they've got to come out strong from the beginning and kind of figure those parts out.
I think the best way to put it for Reffel and Stevens is what their head coach John Mayer said. He said they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm just not sure what I'm going to get. But when they're good, they can beat anyone in the country.
And that's the part about being aggressive. When they're playing aggressive volleyball, that is their best volleyball.
So just one of the fun things about this sport, just the unpredictability of it and how dynamic it is. That is rolled over perfectly by White. So we go to the threes now. Audrey and Nicole Norse. I mentioned they're on a 7-match win streak this season. They're on an 8-match NCAA win streak. They had not lost a set since 2021, and they dropped the opening set here.
And this is a different look for them. When they met up on April 18th, they actually won here against Hooker and Chin. They were at the threes for LMU, so LMU made the adjustment and flip-flopped Hooker Chin with Ramirez and Paloya. So this is a different matchup for the Norse twins, and coaches will move players. You can go up a spot or down one. Right
side of your screen are the Norse twins, and the righty is Audrey. That is Nicole, the lefty, attacking. They are among the most recognizable beach volleyball players in the country. Go back up to the ones, where USC is getting close to getting its first point of the duel. Remember, all of the 5 courts count as a point. Whoever wins 3 of the courts first will win the duel. And Kraft and Maple, this is a very impressive start.
Yeah, this is a very strong start for them. I mean, they, again, as we mentioned, they're the top pair in the country, and they just know each other well. This is their second year playing together, so that chemistry and communication built up, although they've known each other since high school. It's just, you know, this pressure at the collegiate level is so much more. So being able to develop and still grow your game when they're already as good as they are is impressive.
And when I say start, I'm referring to the day, because it's looking like they're going to win this match, and then the semifinals are later today. And Maddie, I know you've stood across the net from these two.
Absolutely, and it's not just that they're good now. They have been good since high school, like you guys said, placing as high as 5th in an AVP as teenagers. Coach Blanton said they call it doing the dance, and they do the dance really well. Block, defense, they look very comfortable together. Delaney knows how to move around the block. Megan is very sound up there. They're obviously very comfortable. And what a statement coming out in the quarterfinals and dominating like they have been.
And Madison Fitzpatrick, a third member of our team, she was a star at Florida State. She's the only one of our team that has actually played in this event, and gives us such a unique perspective. This pair, 61 wins as a pair, which is 6th in Trojan history. They are the current Pac-12 pair of the year, and of course part of the 3-time defending champion program for the last 3 seasons. And they are pouring it on. It is match point at the ones for Kraft and Maple. And Kraft on the left there, the National Player of the Year. All the postseason awards were handed out this week. So the Trojans have the National Player of the Year and the National Coach of the Year. Blocked, and it's over. USC on the board behind the block of Megan Kraft. So USC wins at the ones and takes a 1-0 lead in the overall duel. They need 2 more wins.
Well, if that isn't a statement, Sam, I don't know what is, but 2 of the leaders on this USC team setting the tone. All eyes are on them, and they have delivered. Huge block from Megan Kraft, and not only pair of the year with Delaney Maple, but also in 2021, 2022 with Tina Gardina. So she is a player who has been a staple for this team and an excellent partner no matter who she plays with.
And by the way, they are excellent role models and ambassadors for the sport. We invite you to continue watching the NCAA Beach Volleyball National Championship. The actual championship duel is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. For more information on the NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. We're just getting started in our quarterfinal and semifinal coverage along the sands here of Gulf Shores, Alabama. We skip down to the 5s now.
Well, in that last shot, you saw Delaney Maple and Meg Kraft running off. They're not going for an acai bowl, okay? They're running to the next court to cheer on their teammates, and that's the fun part about this sport is when your court finishes, you get a water and you run over to cheer on your teammates and help them get through.
I may have to disagree with you. I think they might grab one on the way to watch.
Maybe.
They've earned it. That is one of the most popular features here at this venue, the acai bowls for players, fans, ESPN personnel.
Hint, hint.
So Gellner and Thomas of USC, a little bit tighter match with LMU than the ones had. That is Thorup there in the blue on the left, her partner Fournette. Thorup, one of the many Canadians that is on the rosters here among the 17 teams in Gulf Shores. Team Canada's producing a lot of beach volleyball players right now.
They're sprinkled throughout all these programs, really making an impact across the country.
And this is interesting to me, Nicole. Fournette is from Naperville, Illinois. And she said, I am proof that you don't have to live at the beach to be a beach volleyball player.
And I think that's what we're seeing more and more as the years go on. It's usually California, Florida. Texas is now a hotbed. USC has 7 Texans on their team. And now, you know, Naperville, Stanford, Brooke Rockwell from Huntsville, Alabama, or excuse me, Fayetteville. And, you know, things are popping up. The juniors is popping up across the country, and that's what's so nice to see, the growth of the game.
So match point here for USC to go up 2-0 in the duel. Mabin Thomas, the sophomore from Southlake, Texas, served. And that is popped into the open court by Abby Thorup. Still match point USC. It would give them a commanding 2-0 lead. Again, in first set action, they only dropped one, and that was surprising. It was the Norse twins who surrendered the first set. And USC takes a commanding 2-0 lead in the duel. Gellner with the final blow. So again, the beauty of this sport is it can end so quickly. And within a matter of minutes, we may be finished if White and Kriz can hang on here at the twos. And when you play twice, obviously, in your first, you want a quick start.
Oh, yeah, you want to come out strong and get off the sand. Get those feet up and rest, hydrate, because it gets hot out here. And as you said, the emotions as well, not only the adrenaline rush that's going on is exhausting too. So being able to get off and recover and focus on to the next one is huge.
Well, the beauty of this event is that the players, the teams all stay so close by. USC actually can walk over from where they are staying to these courts.
They can scout from their balconies.
19-10 USC leading, and that is hammered by Reffel. Reffel again, the junior from Sweden. Swedish player and an Aussie for LMU on this court. White sends it over.
Little trick play there. You can go on two with a handset like that if you're facing where the ball's going to go. So she can't go on the side and do something tricky like that. You've got to face it. And LMU was definitely not ready for that one. I think that's what she's probably talking to the ref about, making sure she was facing that area. And
so this is a big moment, Nicole. It is not only match point for the twos, it is dual point for USC. They win this, and they sweep the Lions. Kriz serve drifts out. Still, though, match point and dual point overall for USC. Winner of this moves on to the semifinals to face either Cal Poly or Florida State. That will be our next duel here on ESPN2. White. And White secures the victory for the Trojans. They win at the twos and win the overall duel. The horn will blow, signifying it's over. All the courts come off now. And USC is moving on to the semifinals. Still looking good to try to four-peat.
well, if that wasn't a tone setter, Sam, I don't know what was, but those scores are something to look at. USC is here, and they are primed and ready.
Yeah, they certainly are. USC now into the semifinals of the national championship. Again, they'll play the winner of Cal Poly and Florida State, one of the duels that everyone was looking forward to seeing coming up. And the Trojans won't have a lot of time to celebrate because they'll be back playing in their semi later today at 2 Eastern. That's the scheduled time for that. So the most dominant program in the sport over the last 3 years continues to move on. And the Trojans will face either Florida State or Cal Poly later this afternoon here on ESPN2. We'll play all 4 quarterfinals first, and then that will be the first semifinal later today. And Madison Fitzpatrick standing by with USC's ones. And they certainly had a good outing today. Maple and Kraft, again, one of the top pairs in the nation. Kraft, player of the year. They won their match 21-10, 21-9. And we send it down to Maddie now. She's with both of them.
Well, you two are no stranger to the ones court here at this tournament. You came out really calm, really confident in both of the matches that you've played so far. Where do you derive all that calmness and confidence from?
Yeah, I think just trusting that our team is really deep and really stacked, and we just wanted to get a point on the board and trust that everything else will take care of itself. Yeah, Dee was an awesome partner today, and I think we both just wanted to play loose and enjoy the last couple games we have as college volleyball players.
Yeah, last night, Gustavo, our assistant coach, he told us, like, play like a kid, and for some reason that, like, hit me, and I was like, you're so right. Like, I started this because I love it, and, like, these are my last few collegiate games, so I was like, I just want to go out there and, like, leave the court knowing I enjoyed it, and I think that's exactly what we did. It was one of the first games I've ever played here where I didn't feel, like, sick to my stomach butterflies. Like, I just felt so excited to be here, and obviously having her next to me is, like, the most incredible thing ever, so I wanted to have fun, and I'm glad that's what we did.
And the journey continues, semifinals in 4 hours. What's the game plan until then? Strategizing, you're staying out here, going back to the hotel. What's the game plan?
Yeah, probably maybe watch a set or two of this live and then go back, cool down, fuel up, strategize with our coaches, and hopefully be ready to go.
Good luck, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
So USC one step closer to defending their national championship. Cal Poly and Florida State warming up. That will be our next quarterfinal duel. The winner of this one will face the Trojans later today.